Hey, wow. Well, we got a great intro. I tell you what, this is Rumor and Innuendo. It is Thursday, so it is post Rumor Innuendo after Dynamite. And I am here today with WWE_creative-ish on X, Mr. Robert Karpeles, former WWE writer. Robert, happy Thursday, my brother.
I am WWE Creative_ISH. I had one co-host who couldn't say my name properly. Now I got another one who can't say the Twitter handle correctly.
Jeez, oh man.
It's all good, guys. We are here. The chat room is already open. We got Matt Buswell. Finally, my schedule lets me watch live. Greetings from the UK. Shout out to you there, Matt. Also, we got Joseph Wade Walters. Morning, my dudes. And Antonio Santos saying a perfect way to start my workday. Afternoon, gentlemen. Let's hope Robert doesn't have Scott Chaplin internet again. Apparently, yesterday in the pre-recorded episode of Rumor and Innuendo, I don't even know what show we're doing here at this moment, guys. I'm recording so many of these damn things. My I guess audio was a little laggy. We fixed that. We're live. We're in crystal clear HD audio, video, wherever you're watching this show. We thank you for joining us. And Dom, the hell we got going on today, man? We got a lot.
We have a lot. Hey, John Cena started an OnlyFans. We got the aspect of we got to obviously go over AEW Dynamite. There's so much more that, oh my gosh, I got to pull up the whole list. It's so much stuff.
How about I steer with this here?
Yeah,
We've got John Cena starts an OnlyFans. AEW finally hires a writer. Wardlow finally cuts a promo. And guys, I've seen the press releases. You've all sent it to me. Big news about Billy and the CW. It's finally happening, folks. Strap in later on in the show. But Tom, where are we starting with today?
We got to start it off. You stepped it up, and guess who else stepped it up? Is Sting on AEW Dynamite. We had a lot of criticism over the course of this past week about how the AEW storyline was laying out with Sting and his send-off coming up for AEW Revolution. But we had a pretty compelling video with Sting and Darby Allin this week that kind of, I want to get your opinions, obviously. Did it hit the reset button? Did it charge it back up? Sting was with Darby Allin, mentioned his family, mentioned what we were talking about, how keep it simple. That's what to focus on when it comes to that. Robert, what were your thoughts on the execution of all that and Sting's performance?
So they finally found the right way to maneuver into the story. Number one, it's not giving Darby Allin a live microphone, because you don't want him starting to talk about how great Cody Rhodes is again on AEW programming. Number two, they found a way to get around the fact that they do not have any Sting footage that they can show throughout his career. It's very tough to get prepared for Sting's last match when you can't see any of the highlights of any previous Sting match. So when they held up the photo of Sting with his kids when they were little with the face paint on, and then Sting comes out there and says, "No one in my career has laid their hands on my family." On top of which, my father just passed away, who was my hero. You're like, oh, he's going to murder the Young Bucks. And that gave you all the momentum and ammunition you need, Dom, to be excited about this match next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of dispelled. They didn't mention anything about EVPs. They didn't mention anything about them goofing around or making inside references or anything like that. It was straightforward. It was what you wanted to hear from Sting, and it felt like a new version of Sting almost. This somebody that's aware of his own mortality, knowing it's coming to an end, his whole career, and it hit the reset button, I think, in a lot of ways. You mentioned it too, Darby not being in front of a live audience. What did you think of his delivery in starting off? Did he rebound from last week and what he kind of performed there?
Yeah, I thought Darby did a nice job laying out his side of this story here. He teed everything up for Sting. It was ominous. You had the face paint. It was shot really well. I think it was compelling. It was exciting. And I'm thinking, boy, there's no way that they could have possibly muddied the water by doing something incredibly stupid on this show to make me immediately stop caring about the Sting Darby Young Bucks match. Right, Dom? They didn't do anything.
Well, hey, so what kind of happened here was they had a little backstage segment with Ric Flair walking down the hallway. Renee Paquette caught up with them, and Ric Flair was not too pleased. He said that he has been off of weeks of television, wanted to be along for this ride with Sting. Nothing personal against the man or the icon, but hey, he feels a little disrespected, and he's going to kind of search his options. And it wasn't long for us to wait as he walked down the hallway, knocked on a door, and there were the Young Bucks. And Flair walked in, and they had some business to talk. Robert, this added another element, did it not?
Yes, it added another element, and not a good element, guys. There's like a hat on a hat, and then this is a hat on a hat on a hat. I thought when Flair first got out of the limo, he didn't realize they were recording, and he was just shooting on, they told me they're bringing me in here for this, and then they don't even use me, and I'm just sitting at home doing nothing, and I'm just like, what's going on here? He's showing up in the Young Bucks locker room. What it feels like to me, and this is where I'm a little nervous, a little trepidatious here. You're going to use Flair next week to cut one last heel promo on Sting. You get one last bite of the apple. You want to give Flair one last opportunity to cut a heel promo on Sting to set up the swerve, bro, that Flair is going to help Sting and Darby retain the tag titles against the Young Bucks at the pay-per-view. I don't know. I don't know what's going to wind up happening here. Rick, like subdued Rick, bitter Rick, and then like his Twitter persona all melded together into this one segment. Does it make you more excited for the match now when you know you already have this Sting promo in the can?
It got me a little more interested because I think the aspect of it was just so much EVP, so much, tongue in cheek kind of wrestling in suits, kind of like no really compelling reason. And now you have Flair, a longtime rival of Sting, potentially on the Young Bucks side. It kind of does make that reignites that kind of rivalry in a little ways that I think can at least kind of overshadow what was focused on in the past few weeks. So I think that kind of adds a compelling element to it. If I'm understanding where you were kind of going to, I would not want to see them do like a swerve thing when it comes to Flair. I mean, if you're going to have him do this, make him be the foil, I think, ultimately, and have him also show ass that when the Young Bucks show ass too, I think would be a good payoff to have it send off.
Maybe, but I think what you need here is you want, like, Tony is a wrestling fan first and foremost. He wants on his program at least one heel Flair promo against Sting. He wants that old school NWA Flair with Shivani talking bad about Sting, only for Flair to help Sting in the end, that they hug, because Kevin Nash has already said he cannot attend the event. WWE relationships, he doesn't want to muddy the waters there. I don't know who else has been invited and is going to be a part of it. Also, it allows the Bucks the week after to be EVPs and ban Flair from TV. Remove Woo Energy as the official sponsor. Like, let them show that EVP side of themselves. It'll be interesting. What was pretty interesting, too, is when Flair showed up, he interrupted Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho were getting ready to go out on their first date, Dom. And if it was going to be a successful date, I really hope in Angelo Parker's pocket, in addition to his comb, he had some Blue Chew. Because, Dom, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about sex. Remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, like Orange Cassidy, who was cleared to wrestle on Dynamite, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations. Tony Khan will be happy to not have to make eye contact with somebody, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew wants to help you, yes, you, have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners, our viewers, our rumor and innuendoins. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code RUMOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code RUMOR to receive your first month free. Visit Blue Chew for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode of Rumor and Innuendo.
Be the best in the world in the bedroom. And Wardlow happened to mention the best in the world in his promo on AEW Dynamite this week. Pretty interesting stuff, though. Wardlow pulled no punches, was fired up, and indirectly mentioned another new WWE star in CM Punk by saying that he is the best in the world, or the best. He beat the best in the world champion, beat the real AEW champion. Clearly, and he's still recovering from injuries that he sustained for him. A little different than how Darby indirectly referenced Cody. But Robert, what did you think of that aspect of the promo, and then Wardlow's promo overall?
This is the Wardlow we've been waiting to see show up probably since he debuted. He has the look of a main event talent. He wrestles in the ring the way that somebody under the Vince McMahon era would have made millions and millions of dollars. He has just been the victim of a lot of really goofy, really odd creative. Mm-hmm. He was MJF's lackey. It seemed like you were doing the Shawn Diesel thing. It never really paid off because Max taking the time away and Wardlow getting muddied in the situation with Samoa Joe. Then you had Wardlow just go away for a while. He comes back. He has Arn Anderson. Then he doesn't have Arn Anderson anymore. Then he's squashing nobodies. Now he's part of the Kingdom. This felt like he was distancing himself from everyone, from everything, and it felt like the right kind of quasi-shoot promo because AEW is all about wins and losses. They're all about your resume. So when you go out there and say, you put me against CM Punk, I beat CM Punk. You put me against MJF, I beat MJF. You put me against Samoa Joe, I beat Samoa Joe. Why the hell am I not the number one contender for the world title? It was strong. It was clear. It was a mission statement. Yes, he's a heel, but now you know this is a fired up monster who has cleared everything out of his path. And the downside to this is we are 100% going to wind up getting an Adam Cole promo next week, and we're going to lose all this momentum.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just him in that vacuum of him being able to deliver the way he wanted to, and with that kind of passion, and you could tell that there was legitimacy to what he was saying because, like, you know, he himself has gone through that roller coaster of stopped and, you know, being pushed, pulled, all that stuff. And for him to kind of have that platform to say that, speak his mind in a heel fashion, it was very reminiscent of like a Dave Bautista. Like, I felt like I could definitely see some similarities in that. And Batista's always been a natural on camera, and I think this was a clear indication that, you don't think so?
I love Dave. I think Dave is a massive talent. I have worked with Dave. I have done promos with Dave. He has his moments. You need to keep it in the fairway with him, in his wheelhouse. Wardlow has some of those Batista tendencies to him. He looks like a more jacked up Tim Tebow, which I find very compelling as a Gator fan. It's a guy I want to see them get behind. And I hope that this is the get behind, because you only get so many starts and stops. And if I'm being totally honest, I kind of hope when his contract is up, we see him on the other side of the fence.
You know, me too, because it just seems like they would know how to handle him in the best way. And this was a great way to handle him tonight or last night. But to your point, is what's going to happen next week here? Is this going to be consistency moving forward? We're actually going to touch about that a little bit later here on the program. But Robert, I want to get your thoughts on the rest of AEW Dynamite. What really stood out to you? What was some big highlights, or what was some lowlights for you that you took note of?
So we talked about the FTR Blackpool Combat Club story yesterday, and I said it's illogical, it's weird. It made no sense that you suddenly just turn Moxley heel, that you turn the Blackpool Combat Club heel. The match was off the charts. That you started with the best part of the show. You started with that match. Guys, it ended in a time limit draw for a reason. If you're angry about that, you're upset about that, welcome to episodic storytelling. You got to build to a pay-per-view. I would have preferred that this was not the situation from a very personal vendetta last week, because Moxley not releasing the hold after the match turned this into, I want to kick your ass, you want to kick my ass. This is not sportsmanship anymore. The finish of that match felt a little bit like sportsmanship. The bell rings, 20 minutes, we're staring at each other. You wait, then they start brawling with each other. A time limit draw in a competitive tag match leading to these guys wanting to just keep going is all the ammunition you needed to get there. They went a weird step, and it was odd, but it was a hell of a fun match up until that point. I'm excited to see FTR against Moxley and Claudio at the pay-per-view. I want to see this match with a definitive finish. And shout out here to Matt Buswell. Robert, stop trying to make sense of Tony Khan's booking. It's a bad habit of mine. I can't help it. If I'm going to watch a national television show with all of this amazing talent, all the toys that I wish I had in my toy box to be able to go out and do TV, I'm going to try to figure out what the hell TK was thinking. There was a bunch of other stuff on this show, Dom. There was a main event, 6-man tag main event with your co-host, Mr. Rob Van Dam. And I will say, of all the Robs you host a podcast with, I wasn't going to get choked out by Samoa Joe.
I was very surprised that they put Rob in that position to get choked out. It makes sense to the aspect that, Samoa Joe's your world champ and you need somebody, and you're wanting to kind of protect both Hangman and Hook, but it's still RVD. And I was a little shocked that it happened. I thought the match itself was pretty fun. A lot of different elements going into play when it comes to it, and chaos outside the ring a little bit. And then, people running it trios, your understandable trios match.
Yes,
that you'll get for it. So I think it was a fun main event. The reaction Rob got was awesome. But it seemed like the crowd was very much into everybody for the most part in that match. And,
this crowd was happy to be out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Maybe they're not used to a building with indoor plumbing or electricity, whatever it was. These people were there to have a good time, and that's what makes a show fun. I'm not at all surprised Rob is the guy who took the loss. You needed to set up, we kind of said it yesterday, Rob was going to be the mascot in this match, and he absolutely was. He's the guy who needed to lose so that when Hangman gets mad at him and attacks Rob, we're angry. We're fired up. We're like, we want to see Hangman's head on a spike, but his head is not the part of his body that seems to be causing the most drama right now.
No, it's not.
This is not a Blue Chew ad. This is not the Blue Chew plug.
Slightly
lower.
Are we segueing into something else that we're going into? I'm lost, Robert. What is it?
We're segueing to the fact that there's these reports that Hangman Adam Page supposedly hurt his ankle.
That's correct. My goodness. And I wrote this down and I'm staring directly at it.
You wrote the directions like you printed out an old MapQuest
sheet and did not pick it up. Yes, Hangman was reportedly injured, quote unquote, but according to Fightful, and it looked that way. He was brushing the cameraman off. He was saying, don't shoot me. And I was like, wow, he might be hurt. But sure enough, we have a report from Fightful Select that says, we're told that this could be worked into the show now. But upon returning to the backstage area, Page was completely fine. One talent used the phrase that has often been used in situations like this. Yeah, he's okay. He's just good at his job. Robert, do you like that kind of thing? Do you like that added element? It just seems kind of what you were saying, unnecessary, hat on a hat almost.
Here's the thing that's the strangest about this. You've got Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp who's saying this is storyline. Meltzer and Alvarez were saying that they heard that, this could be a broken ankle and he could be hurt. Is Meltzer being worked again? Is he trying to help muddy the water and Tony's in cahoots? It's such a weird thing within the world of dirt sheet writing journalism because everyone uses the word journalism. At the end of the day, it's the sources who want to tell people whatever they want to tell them, whether it's true or not. We saw this happen, unfortunately, with friend of the show, Justin Barrasso, when he reported something coming out for Mania with a potential card shift. And the person that said it to him, an inside WWE person, was not forthright in what they were talking about. I saw it happen back in my day that there were potentially, hypothetically, theoretically, maybe Rumor and Innuendo, some folks that I work with who would try to plant stories, sometimes for fun, sometimes to further their own personal agenda. but Dave got the Mania story wrong about 11 times. Dave also at one point reported there were 8,000 tickets sold for Elimination Chamber. And then this is showing that divide. If Hangman is really hurt, the main event is still going to be okay because you can still do Joe versus Strickland.
Yes.
If this is them trying to tell an insidery story to get people like whispering and tune in to see what happens next week, why do you need it? You have all the momentum in Hangman, who told his team, who told Hook and Rob Van Dam, go out there and injure Shane Strickland. That's your one mission. That's your goal. It's not to win. It's to maim this guy. You're already telling a great story with that. I've complimented it over and over again, the build of this double turn. I don't need a fake injury angle. If it's a fake injury angle and if it's a real injury, I hope they're okay. I hope that, it's not as bad as something being broken. But if they need to pivot, hopefully Tony is going to start listening to some new voices, Dom.
Yes, Robert, there is a new voice that's there. And her name is Jennifer Pepperman. And she happened to just leave WWE not even a week ago. Well, a week ago now today. But when it was announced that she signed on with AEW, it was 6 days ago that she made her exit from WWE. And now I have the quote here from Tony Khan. Adding Jennifer Pepperman's brilliant mind to the AEW team opened up the door for exciting new ideas and will help us build upon the incredible stories currently developing on the road to AEW Revolution across our 3 weekly shows on TBS and TNT. And the effects of Jennifer's arrival in AEW will be felt for many years in the future. We're thrilled to welcome her today, and I look forward to her creativity and collaboration with our team across the board in what will be AEW's biggest year yet and beyond. So, Robert...
Was he falling down a cavern at the end of that quote?
I was trying to do Buzz Lightyear plus kind of reference.
Don't get us sued by Disney.
Okay.
Please don't.
Well, what do you think of this creative addition? It's the first actual, I believe, creative hire AEW has made since its inception.
I have been waiting for this moment since the moment AEW started. Tony has been so hesitant, reticent, opposed to hiring writers because he does not understand what a writer, what a creative team member actually does. It is someone who's going to help lay out your storylines, someone who's going to take a holistic look at the product overall. They're going to look at the weekly shows, the segment by segment breakdown, how each talent is being utilized, and make sure that everything makes sense. It's why I'm constantly trying to make sense of what Tony Khan is doing, because you just can't help it. If you trained in that world, you want to see what's going to happen. I'm thrilled. I'm elated. I'm ecstatic that Tony has brought somebody in from WWE who had previous background in soap operas, in being able to tell episodic storytelling. She is not going to come in there and try to write word for word what everybody's promo is. It is, tell me the story you're trying to tell, Tony. Let's see if we can lay out the beats, make the chart, because that's how you book using a grid. You book weeks out, months out to your pay-per-view, laying out your shows. I don't know what Tony's format situation looks like. I don't know that Tony has people that he can truly confide in, because you have a lot of different voices. There was the Jericho camp. There was the Young Bucks camp. There was the Cody camp for a while. There's Kenny's view of how he thinks wrestling should be. You need someone who you can bounce these ideas off, be your Pat Patterson, and help lay out the show. And I'm really hoping that that's what he found here. And he warms to the idea of bringing in other writers.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. You funnel all those minds, those creative people that are backstage and have their different philosophies on wrestling, how it's executed, all that stuff. Hopefully Jennifer is used as almost this filter where it's like, okay, well, I'm understanding what you're saying. Here's how I'm going to convey it. And here's how we can structure this out on a week-to-week, show-to-show basis, that somebody that has experience in soap operas, a daily episodic television show that's an hour long typically, sometimes 30 minutes, but you have her with that kind of experience, and you got 3 programs of AEW. So I think it's a good move. Hopefully it's there's some harmony that goes along with that. And we see that going forward to what you were saying there, Robert. So she also mentioned, it happened to be, Meltzer mentioned this, that Pepperman is known to be close with Mercedes Moné, who is expected to join AEW at the upcoming Big Business. So there's that added element too. So hopefully this is a new kind of era, so to speak, for AEW moving forward. We'll see.
It's a new era. It's great for fans. It's great for the audience. So it's not great only for fans.
Not only for fans, but only fans. Something
Eh.
great for them. Something
He's
great.
getting better at this, guys. We're
Mhm.
we're putting the breadcrumbs down, and he's finding them. I don't even know what the story is, by the way. This was on the run sheet. It was about John Cena and OnlyFans.
That's right.
Let's keep this family friendly, man. On a Blue Chew sponsored. Should this have been a sponsored segment by Blue
That
Chew?
maybe should have been it. If we thought about it, if I had the wherewithal to put that ahead of this on that segment. But
Look at you with wherewithal, pulling out the big words.
yeah, so I am a dirt sheet writer, but you can see John Cena on OnlyFans, but not actually John Cena. It is his character, Robert Stanicki, I believe his name is.
Ricky, isn't it Ricky
Ricky
Stanicki?
Stanicki. Thank you very much. Ricky Stanicki, you can see on OnlyFans. There is a link that you can go to a free subscription. It is free. And check out John Cena's OnlyFans account. He posted it on his social media. First WWE world champion to do this, Robert?
Yeah, I don't think Mandy Rose was a former world champion.
No.
But it's creative marketing. I'll give them that. We've seen movies over the years try to find unique ways to get to their audiences. I've seen the trailer for this movie. It looks funny. I know there was a screening in Miami last night of the film. John was there as part of it. I was invited. Unfortunately, I had plans, or else I would have gone to see it. I don't like having to leave my house, Dom. Yeah. I'm a homebody person. I got a lot of wrestling to watch.
Yes.
Let's be totally honest. In case you hear my poor dog barking in the background here, he's really excited about everything coming up here with John Cena. Cena. There's another John Cena story, but we're gonna save that for tomorrow. I want to talk about the comments that Cena and Orton made about Vince McMahon, but it's very hard to go from John Cena's OnlyFans to let's have a serious conversation about how the superstars are handling the Vince McMahon situation. So we're gonna have to put a pin on that here, because to be perfectly honest, Dom, we're running out of time, man. Time is a valuable commodity, which unfortunately means the Billy and the CW story. We're gonna have to push that to tomorrow as well. I was all fired up. I read the press release. I had notes, Dom, to talk about Billy and the CW, but we'll have to save it for another day. All apologies to Billy and the CW. But Dom, where else can the fine folks find you?
Yes, I felt like a rat in a cage. I thought we were going to get it, but not this time around. You can follow me on Twitter at Dominic DeAngelo. You can also check out One of a Kind with RVD every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard.
I wouldn't. That guy's a loser. He lost, Dom.
How dare you, Robert? How dare you? We're going to have a clash of Roberts here, I think, coming up on Rumor Innuendo. But you can check him out every Monday at 4:20 p.m. at rvdtv.com or wherever you get your damn podcasts. And you can check out my other podcast, Straight Talk with the Boss, Magnum TA and Greg Gagne, Greg Gagne, congratulations to him, just got inducted into the George Trejo's Luthez, or I think it's called Luthez Hall of Fame.
Luthez, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, in Waterloo, Iowa. So he will be inducted this summer along with Arn Anderson and some others too. Pretty exciting stuff.
Dr. Tom Pritchard's going to be honored there as well. Love Dr. Tom.
Yeah, very excited for that. I am going to try to make that trip there, Robert. So, but check out that podcast. Go to GagneandMagnum.com or check it out wherever you get your podcast there too. Robert, what do you got cooking? You just recorded something, didn't you?
I did right before we came on the air. I recorded this week's episode of Wrestle Roast, which will be up by tomorrow morning at the very latest, depending on our erstwhile producer, Zach, gets that posted up there. You can follow me on Twitter at WWE_creative_ISH, which is also where you can catch the live video streaming of this show. We're streaming on there. We're streaming on SC Scoops. We are on at Dominic DeAngelo's X account, as well as our friends at Podcast Heat. Podcast Heat is who makes this show possible. Thank you to that. You can also check out our YouTube channel or the Ad-Free Shows YouTube channel. We are everywhere, man. We are spread as thin as Tony Khan trying to write 3 television shows a week. Do me a favor, do Dom a favor, do all of us a favor. Go rate, review, subscribe. Love to see a 5-star review. Let's pretend we're in the Tokyo Dome. Give it 7 stars. Figure out a way to break the algorithm. Start throwing 7 stars on there. So on behalf of the well-caffeinated Dominic DeAngelo, I'm Robert Karpeles. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
I'm zooming, baby. Woo!